The Sun is a star at the center of the solar system. It is a massive, nearly perfect sphere of hot plasma, heated to incandescency by nuclear fusion in its core. It is radiating energy from its surface mainly as visible light, infrared radiation, and 10% of ultraviolet energies. It is by far the most important source of energy for life on Earth. The Sun has been the object of veneration in many cultures. It has been a central subject for astronomical research since antiquity. The Sun orbits the galactic center at a distance of 24,000 light years away. From Earth, it is one astronomical unit, or about 8 light minutes away. Its diameter is about 864,000 miles. It is about 109 times that of the Earth. Its mass is about 330,000 times that of Earth, making up about 99.86% of the total mass of the solar system. Roughly 3/4 of the Sun's mass consists of hydrogen. The rest is mostly helium, with much smaller quantities of heavier elements including oxygen, carbon, neon, and iron. The Sun is a G-type main sequence star, informally called a yellow dwarf, though its light is actually white. It formed approximately 4.6 billion years ago from a gravitational collapse of matter within the region of a large molecular cloud. Most of this matter gathered at the center, whereas the rest flattened into an orbital disk that became the solar system. The central mass became so hot and dense that it eventually initiated nuclear fusion in its core. Every second, the Sun's core fuses about 600 billion kilograms of hydrogen into helium and converts 4 billion kilograms of matter into energy. About 4 to 7 billion years from now, when hydrogen fusion in the Sun's core diminishes to the point where the Sun is no longer an hydrostatic equilibrium, its core will undergo a marked increase in density and temperature. This will cause its outer layers to expand, eventually transforming the Sun into a red giant. This process will make the Sun large enough to render the Earth uninhabitable. Approximately 3 billion years from the present, after the red giant phase, models suggest that the Sun will shed its outer layers and become a dense type of cooling star or a white dwarf. It will no longer produce energy by fusion, but will still glow and give off heat from its previous fusion for perhaps 1 trillion years or so. After that, it is theorized to become a super dense black dwarf, giving off negligible energy. The Sun rotates faster at its equator than it does at its poles. This differential rotation is caused by convection motion due to the heat transport and the Coriolis force due to the Sun's rotation. In a frame of reference defined by the stars, the rotational period is approximately 25.6 days at the equator and 33.5 days at the poles. Viewed from the Earth as it orbits the Sun, the apparent rotational period of the Sun at its equator is about 28 days. Viewed from a vantage point above its north pole, the Sun rotates counterclockwise around its axis of spin. A survey of solar analogs suggests that the early Sun was rotating up to 10 times faster than it does today. This would have made the Sun's surface more active, with greater X-ray and UV emissions. Sunspots would have covered 5 to 30% of the surface. The rotation rate was gradually slowed by magnetic braking, as the Sun magnetic field interacted with the overflowing solar winds. vestige of this rapid primordial rotation still survives at the sun's core, which has been found to be rotating at the rate of once per week, 4 times the mean surface rotation rate. Sunspots are visible as dark patches in the sun's photosphere and correspond to concentrations of magnetic field where convection transport of heat is inhibited from the solar's interior to the surface. As a result, the sunspots are slightly cooler than the surrounding photosphere, so they appear dark. At a typical solar minimum, few sunspots are visible, and occasionally none can be seen at all. Those that do appear are at higher solar latitudes. As the sun cycle progresses towards its maximum, sunspots tend to form closer to the solar equator, a phenomena known as Spore's law. The largest sunspots can be tens of thousands of kilometers across. The magnetic polarity of sunspots pairs alternately every solar cycle, a phenomenon described as Halley's law. The sun's magnetic field leads to many effects that are collectively called solar activity. Solar flares and coronal mass ejections tend to occur at sunspot groups. Slowly changing high-speed streams of solar wind are emitted from the coronal holes at the photospheric surface. Both coronal mass ejections and high-speed streams of solar wind carry plasma and the interplanetary magnetic field outward into the solar system. The effects of solar activity on Earth include auroras at a moderate to high latitude and the disruption of radio communications and electrical power. Solar activity is thought to have played a large role in the formation and evolution of the solar system. Change in the solar irradiance over the 11-year solar cycle has been correlated with change in the sunspot number. The solar cycle influences space weather conditions, including those surrounding Earth. For example, in the 17th century, the solar cycle appeared to have stopped entirely for several decades. Few sunspots were observed during a period known as Maunder Minimum. This coincided in a time with the era of the Little Ice Age, when Europe experienced unusually cold temperatures earlier. Extended minima have been discovered through analysis of tree rings and appear to have coincided with lower than average global temperatures. The sun is an important component of sustaining life on Earth. Human life, plant, animal life are just a few of the beneficiaries of the sun's energy. These are the sounds that have been recorded coming off the surface of the sun. There's nothing like a beautiful sunny day to lift your spirits. But don't forget the sunscreen. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and hit that notification icon for the latest videos as they are released. Thanks for watching and catch you in the next one. Ciao for now.